Okie dokie. We are live then. Oh dear. My hot take. It's gone. It's gone. It's all over. It's the end.
The season's over. We've been sussed, and that is the end of Wolverhampton Wanderers as we know it here in America.
Yeah. Yes.
That was a lie, by the way. I don't feel that way at all. I actually guess my hot take is 10 points gets us into the Champions League, and we can easily get that over the next 5. So, well, I say easily. Sheffield, if we that is kind of a must win on Wednesday against Sheffield. So,
yeah, results haven't been kind today for us, not at all.
Everything had gone well until today. United and Leicester, I think Leicester back to their usual selves, looking pretty clinical. United obviously being United at the minute and almost being their best unbeaten run. I think unbeaten in 18 was their best since Mourinho was in charge since in between late 16 and early 17. So it'll be. I'm not sure how many points will be enough for the Champions League, but I certainly think if Chelsea do the business over Watford, it makes things extremely difficult from a league perspective.
We need a draw for that one because that keeps us within one match. All we have to do is stay within one match, Chelsea, right? If we're one win away against Chelsea, last game of the season for Champions League. Not to forget, if we do fail, all we have to do is win the Europa, right? Same thing. Same thing.
In fact, no, that's it. No, we're sorted then. It's win the Europa, no problem.
We'll somehow hopefully give Olympiacos a nice surprise, considering the way they obviously beat Arsenal. Nobody expected it, and then we'll hopefully just dice over Man United into it. All those wicked dream. But I think a Chelsea failing to win today would be Watford surprising everybody would be very useful when that kicks off in a short while. So let's hope, because it would only keep us. I think, as you're right, it would only keep us the point behind. So it wouldn't be all lost. And obviously that plus then still at the minute City's supposed ban, which we'll know the result of supposedly on the 13th, will still give us a shot. So it's not all doom and gloom, even though obviously tonight was one of the worst performances of the season by a long way.
Well, I can't say it was one of the worst. I don't think it became one of the worst, but I thought up until half time, despite being one down, we looked quite comfortable and in control, but the only thing we were lacking was up front. We seemed to be very hesitant in front of goal. Every chance to either have a shot or take it forward, there seemed to be a pause or a sort of hesitation, and then the moment, the moment had gone. So, and then second half, we seemed to just crumble. Really, I mean, by 80 minutes, it looks like half of our team had decided they didn't want to play this guy. They'd written this one off, and
it seemed to have kind of capitulated after the Traore miss, which I think everybody in the world watching that thought he's going to go around the keeper. Still would have been a hard shot to get off, impossible, especially when you're the fastest player on the planet. But to try to touch that over, going at the speed of a freight train,
I thought the little dink was the right idea. Just didn't get the little sort of on it to make it dink. He didn't get the dink.
It's a hard shot. I actually thought, and I've been hard on Jota, but I thought he should have laid it off like 2 minutes before that. When he was in there, I think he had Raul running behind him. David Luiz was going his direction. So if he would have just put it behind his heels, I thought it was a tap in for Raul. Either way, if that game 1-1, we would end up with all 3 points today. We weren't going to stop after that, but it just.
Well, I think that's what I mean by the sort of hesitancy and the sort of the sharpness. The sharpness and on the final part of any move seems to be the bit that's a little bit off at the moment. I mean, yes, we've scored in the other game, so I can't really say that, but does look a little bit, and then we've played a much better team today, so it shows a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about them catching us though. What do they play next? They play Spurs, Leicester, Spurs, Liverpool, and City, right? So that's quite the run.
I will be extremely surprised if obviously Arsenal will be pleased to get Wigan free, but I'll be immensely surprised if they're able to break through. Considering, as you say, if that's their last 5, then that is obviously going to mean essentially 5 further cup finals for Arsenal. And obviously they have to perform in the way in which they did in all of those. And I don't think, well, particularly Liverpool for a start, being the league champions. Although obviously, having said that, look what happened on Thursday. So it's a strange old game, football, as we discovered. But yeah,
that's what they play.
There wasn't. It was one of those performances which just almost felt like it, which was frustrating in all senses. The 2 striking pins clearly being the kind of like lack of energy and the lethargicness within the boys, which is very unusual. I don't know what they did within the week's break, but even though we controlled start the second half very well and came forward, we just did nothing with the ball in terms of trying to get it into the areas that matter. And then obviously, secondly, our woefulness on set pieces, which again is extremely unusual. Knowing the quality of Ruben and João, it's that was probably the most surprising aspect of the evening. They are much better than they showed tonight, and it was like, and I did wonder why on earth they allowed Romain Saiz to try and take a clever free kick routine. We can't be that clever at this point. We've got to be direct, for straight at aiming straight at the target. So those are the 2 things that annoys me the most. And it was a bit of deflateness has kicked in, I think, knowing that it was a big opportunity and we've fluffed it.
Yep. Yeah, I think even a point there was a game changer if we could have gotten anything out of today. So.
And as you say, in terms of Adama's chance, it was he in a sense should have scored, but I completely get where you're coming from in the way of trying to get the ball down and in. So it's it's one of those things which he could do, it could and should do better. But again, it's a case of where the ball goes off from the foot, and he gave it a go. So. Although imagine if Martinez didn't come out at the start and make the block within inside 20 seconds, because he came out.
I was going to say something about Martinez. He seemed very quick off his line, which seemed to disrupt our forwards a lot. There was a few chances where, in other games, the sort of more modern goalkeeping coaching, where they get them to stay on the line for long, stay on the line and make themselves, and sit there. He was off. He was like a whippet off the line. He was coming out and getting everything and brave at the same time, which I think kind of upset some of our forward play.
Yeah, I could go with that. I just it just seemed really disjointed. Is the easiest way to sum it up. I didn't do any ratings for the team, so I'm sure I'll leave that to the verdict thread. Actually, I should probably go on there and see if the world's already ended.
Yes. I know some of Twitter has gone into meltdown as some typical Wolves fans like to. I've got 2 dogs in my household as well, so if they talk a bit, then I apologise in advance. But I know just seen a tweet which Nathan Jr. was not happy with. Let's just say, and it's one of those Wolves fans who just loves to criticise. I think at every opportunity. Obviously, criticism should be taken seriously, of course, but look where we are. We're still 6th in the Prem. If Chelsea slip up tonight, then we'll still remain 1 point off a Champions League spot at the moment. It's not, the world has certainly not ended. Obviously, we're going to, at some point, we're going to have a result of the kind. At some point, the 8-game unbeaten streak was going to end. our first defeat in the league since Liverpool back in January, where we obviously played pretty well, gave them a fright. But if people are thinking, "Oh, we're going to fall off a cliff here," I certainly don't. I certainly hope and expect we won't, as we are much better than we've shown tonight, and we are I'm sure just like Leicester, hopefully Nuno will give the boys a polite talking to and be like, you're better, you've got to show it, and hopefully that will come across against Sheffield United on Wednesday. But I know
I definitely agree with you on that. It's not end of the world stuff, because as we said, like a large part of the first half, we looked very comfortable, despite being 1-0 down. We did look very, very comfortable in possession and didn't look particularly troubled. It was a good finish by the guy. Bolly did. Was it a mistake, or was he just slightly caught? I'm not sure. Yeah. It was a bit of an odd way of trying to stop it, but we were all a bit out of shape at that point, and it ended up with a very good finish. Sometimes that happens. Arsenal aren't a rubbish team. They're a decent team, so they're going to have players who can punish. But again, as I say, we didn't look out of place. I think, as I said earlier, the only thing that worried me was a little bit the lack of sort of decision making and sharpness in the final part of our forward play. And I did think we seemed to be very, very reliant on Traore. Really, really reliant, because once he went back to wing back, the ball didn't really stick up top. Now I know there's other factors to that. However, it did seem that the only real attacking play came through him, which is a shame, and we need to not be so reliant.
Yeah, he's been the guy every match since we come back. We're usually able to kind of pick teams apart up the middle. We did on that one run today with Jota, but it's been all Traore. Just kind of looping those balls in from the right side, really, him and Doc, and that's been our goals. So did not happen today. Almost happened a few times.
Yeah.
But, I would say, panic time would start with a bad result on Wednesday. I didn't, I know that your take was we were going to win every match from here on out.
Yes.
But,
apart from this one, I forgot to mention that bit, that I every game apart from this one. That was my take.
But in reality, it's the Premier League, so you're not going to get a clean sheet every week. So giving up a goal to Arsenal, we probably could have expected that, and just didn't happen. On to Sheffield.
Yeah.
On to Sheffield United, indeed, yes. Which I think will be an interesting one.
Don't know what to say about Sheffield United, because I didn't think they were that great against us last time, but you cannot fault and you cannot argue where they are in the table. And I didn't think they looked great against Villa in the restart.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they've just, they've started picking up a few wins again now. I think we should be able to beat them and comfortably. But we've got to be, as I say, we've got to be sharper, because otherwise we're just going to drift.
So there's a bit of criticism, right, for the tactics today, trotting out a different style, different up front too. What do you think? What do you think happens on Wednesday?
Good question. Clearly, the formation didn't. Clearly, Nuno's tactics today it clearly won't go down. It hasn't gone down well, understandably. People did wonder why we didn't go with 3-4-3 in the first place. I see why he tried to put Adama up front, but then the sub say bringing off Doc was in hindsight madness, as it took Traore out the rest of the game for a good 15 minutes, where again, he could have been useful, and clearly sticking to what we knew up until before this evening in terms of formation and stuff is what I think is going to be the best. Give us probably the best chance on Wednesday night, and Blades might have slipped up a bit, but obviously on Thursday against Spurs were pretty good, extremely. I have to say, extremely good, and it gave Mourinho's men a whack, and we better be extremely wary that a kind of performance like tonight may enable the same. And knowing too that the last time we played Sheffield United at Bramall Lane in the league was a 2-0 loss, so which just like tonight we didn't turn up. I hope that omen doesn't stick out. That night it was a night after, a couple of nights after I randomly had my glasses stolen, so I was in the away and squinting. From what I saw was it's pretty similar to what was on display this evening.
So the good news is Sheffield will have less than 3 days rest going into our game because they play Burnley tomorrow, I guess noon for you guys.
Yes.
But we're also, as it stands, what do we have? 5 games in 14 days?
We do. I think it's 5 games. 5 games for the rest of the season. 5 games in.
Or 4 more games within the next 14 days. Like it's 3. What do we have? 3 days. 3 days.
Yeah, it's
or
3 weeks.
3 days, something like that. So.
Yeah, end of the season's 3 weeks tomorrow. I think.
So I would not be surprised to see us only have 2 up front on Wednesday and bring Traore on in the last 25 minutes of the game. So
I think that's going to happen. Definitely.
Go with Neto and Jota perhaps down the wings, and then Jimenez up front.
If Nuno would just listen to me.
Well, I was interested to see that Campana was on the bench today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was there because I know Nuno has confirmed. I think that Pedon's had to go back to Portugal to deal with some personal stuff. I think. Apparent according to stuff, which is okay, fair enough. I hope everything's okay in that regard.
Yeah.
But it may be nice, in fact, to give Leonardo a run. He's been waiting, and from looking at the training vids and stuff, he has looked sharp. So it may be it could be his opportunity to whether he comes on or maybe even starts and we go a bit bold and maybe give Rao a bit of a breather. I don't know, but it'd be good for him to be able to get some action. That's
it. I'm wondering whether against someone like Sheffield United, who are going to be able to deal with those crosses that come across with only Jimenez in the middle, they're going to be able to deal with that sort of thing all day. Bread and butter stuff. They'll just knock that away all day. So perhaps having a load of tricky, smaller, quick players, I don't know, it might be an old, outdated view of mine, but, maybe that might be a bit more interesting, bit different way of taking the game to Sheffield United. I don't know.
Do you think
I'd be interested.
Do you think that the internet can handle the bandwidth if Jimenez doesn't start on Wednesday though? It'll just be uproar
the Mexican fans, and I say whenever Jimenez has been benched or what on the Mexican fans, particularly on Facebook, the angry emoji becomes, I think, at least the second most used on any Wolves post. So it wouldn't be, and obviously Twitter being Twitter is can become a bigger thing. So I couldn't imagine what the web would be if Rao was dropped to the bench. But he has been quiet, I must admit. I did see a tweet from a guy called Robert, a Wolves fan who lives in Nottingham. But I have to say he hasn't been himself though recently, Rao. Not that much, not too many contributions since West Ham away, which has been a really big surprise. Maybe the games have again got to him. Maybe he just needs to find the goal scoring touch. But that's one surprising element that Rao has seemingly gone a bit quiet at the minute. Maybe Wednesday against Blades could be an ideal opportunity for him to show his worth again, knowing the kind of teams he likes to. He's usually good at putting them away against.
I think he needs some support himself. I think he's doing a hell of a lot of work on his own. He really is. And then you've got Traore who's up there with him. But if you're only playing two up front and Traore's going wide and supplying the cross, well, and there's only Jimenez there, it's a lot of. He's got to do a lot to score. I mean, he has in some of the in a couple of the games already, and brilliantly. But how many chances where it will just get battered away because he's completely outnumbered? It would be nice. I'd like to see at least someone. I don't know who. Get a lot closer when we get there. So we're at that end. We've really got to just. It was for me. It was really, really, really evident today because there was no one else there. There just was no one there.
Yeah.
And you're not going to, if you're going to rely purely on Traore beating everybody and then hopefully finding Jimenez unmarked, that's not the most.
Yeah, if the ball's past the 16-yard line, you have to flood the box. You just have to flood it. Like there has to be at least 3 heads that are just making them in there.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think it's gung ho because obviously we've got a system and we've got which makes us hard to beat. But there comes a point where you need somebody. I mean, even when we go for with the 3, we still seem to have the 2 wide ones. Even the one of the other wide ones doesn't seem to come in
right
to the area from the other side. They still seem to be sitting wide, waiting for that width. Now we've got wing back, so they can be the width. Come in a bit more, be a few more targets. That's why.
Well, I think that we're just gonna have to see. Yeah, it's. I mean, I can't say that it's frustrating because, after the last 3 matches, we're very happy.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
We're still in this one.
Go through the season, win 3, lose 1, win 3, lose 1. You're gonna have a good season.
But 10 points. Let's just get 10 points. I think we'll be all right. We're at least pretty close to securing a spot in the Europa again, right?
Yeah, we're still several points clear of Spurs. So we in terms of Europa League, we should be okay. Should be okay.
Would you guys be?
We don't fall off the cliff.
What's that?
Would you be happy with the Europa for a second year, assuming that we don't win the tournament?
Oh, we'll win the tournament, so it won't matter.
Fair play. And will we get to go to those games? That's going to be the bigger question.
Indeed.
Y'all are doing a better job than us. At least I think. I don't know. We'll see what happens in a couple weeks now that you got the pubs back open. So we've had to go around and close all of ours, as you well know. So
yeah.
But we are not the brightest folk over here. So.
I don't think
what can
it's
you
much
do?
better here sometimes. But yeah.
I'm shocked.
I think
yelling at us right now.
We did have briefly someone come on, but I was about to add them on, and they left, which was a shame. Everyone's drowning their sorrows at the moment.
Yeah, so
we've got to wait through the stages of grief.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if a few have decided to nip to the pub and well, now most have reopened over here.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I was just having a quick flick through the verdict on the new mix, and there's not a lot of happy bunnies. Pretty much.
The sky has officially fallen.
No, it's not full on. It's but there's disappointment, which I think is fair. To be honest, I mean, I am disappointed. I do think we made some in the second half, especially. We made the defence were making some questionable decisions and a couple of mistakes. While he seemed a bit off it, a couple of times he lost the ball in not the place you want him to really lose it. But he's a cool character, so he's not fazed by anything. So you have to expect that occasionally that he'll get caught out. I think.
Yep.
Just a bad day at the office. Let's take it.
So did you have a man of the match today?
That'd be tricky.
Or does it belong to somebody on Arsenal?
Martinez. So I think he disrupted our forward play. No, for me, man of the match would probably be, I would say, probably our most effective player was Traore. And I don't think he was having his best game, but I don't think anyone was having their best game, to be honest. So for me, he was the best in not the greatest performance.
Yeah, maybe Patricio.
Yeah.
Not much he could do on the two that were scored. I think that I don't know if you guys are familiar with posturizing in the UK, but it's where, like, if somebody took a photo of the action, like, you'd be the guy that's getting beat. It's usually basketball when you're dunking over somebody, but I think that poor Cody on that second goal, just he dove for it and just sat there and just a statue.
Yeah, it was like, as you could see, it was probably going through his mind. Oh no!
He knows he's the last guy, and he's planted his foot, and he just knew.
He just watched go past. Oh no! Yeah, it didn't go well too well there. I don't know. Maybe Neves for the goal line clearance. But he didn't. Again, he didn't have his greatest performance either.
What did you think of that free kick when Matinho kind of nipped it over to Neves? I kind of saw it coming, and I think Neves should have just struck that. I think we went over. Did we talk about that, or was I just talking about that out there? That Neves should have struck that right there and gotten it in at least a shot on target. You never know what's going to happen. Then we had one shot on target.
But I think that's it. That was the story of the game today. It was just there was a lot of hesitancy and no decisiveness in the attacking play. It was very much. I'm thinking it's almost caught in two minds, and then not sure what to do, and then you don't do either. So again, that's. But I suppose, yeah, I'll stick with my Traore man of the match. Kashmir, what do you think?
Yeah, probably. From our perspective, I think Adama did. He was clearly the brightest spark. I think predominantly because we're relying on him so much this evening, and he did certainly. I know, in fact, I saw a stat. I think that when he was brought down by whomever it was, that it was the 33rd yellow card for a foul on Traore this season, which is astonishing in every sense, but not surprising with his strength, his tenacity, and obviously his willingness to try and do his best on the ball. So I certainly think the best player on the field, and for Arsenal, I don't know who got man of the match. Probably. From an Arsenal perspective, I'll probably give it to Saka for the way he converted his finish. Doctor defended it much better.
It was a good finish.
Yes, absolutely. And the way he was able to let it come onto his first time, no messing around, over the keeper. No one can complain at the finish. And the second one, Cody should have not went halfway down onto the floor. As he tries to, should have just stood up and let the ball bounce off him. But that's football. But Adama, for me, I think, for our perspective, would deserve would be the best player on the pitch again this evening. I just hope he isn't too knackered for Wednesday now, knowing obviously a full 90 for Traore is a rarity. So
I mean, I could guarantee he'll be on the bench to start with on Wednesday. So, and that's rightfully so. Like, not because he doesn't deserve it, but he needs, or because he didn't. I don't know that he had a terrible performance, but fresh legs, fastest player in the world at 70 minutes against a United team that I don't think will be able to handle him at that point. I think is a good recipe. So
yeah.
I'm sure that you'll see Jota and Jimenez up front. Dendoncker should be there with Martino and Neves, but you never know. Maybe Morgan Gibbs-White gets a nod after today.
I was hoping to see Jordan come on, to be honest.
I've been waiting. I thought it would have happened already. That's our 21st player of the season when he comes on, right?
Yeah, I really liked him in the game that he got it. I can't remember which game it was. I think it was the League Cup game that he got injured in. And I thought, although raw, I thought he really did look an interesting prospect. So I was quite excited to see him on the subs bench, thinking, "Oh, I hope he comes back in. He gets a gift to run out on a game." But I don't know. Maybe he's not ready.
I mean, Verdict Thread says that you shouldn't mess with the formula at this stage in the season. So that's what I've seen flipping through there so far. That's a nice way of saying it. There's a lot of asterisk words in there. So
did we mess with the formula that much? I don't think we did mess with the formula that much.
They
pretty much played the same formation.
The partnership up front that started the game wasn't the right one. So
yeah, I suppose so. I suppose in the sense that we usually have Jota there and we kind of wear them down a lot, and then go with the thunder and lightning of Traore it seems that I think we've got a couple of players who will swap, who are interchangeable, with like doing 90-minute slots. They're playing 90 minutes, but it might be that 90 minutes is stretched over 2 games, and then they'll swap the other player, and then they'll have 90 minutes over 2 games. That's what I think. I'm probably very wrong, but that's my thoughts on it.
Well, I think the more we make use of it this point this season, I think the better for, say, all the big boys' energies. I think say Adama being obviously Adama being held off pretty well by Arsenal tonight. And obviously our reliance on him in many ways. Sort of a little Chelsea Watford, by the way, looks a pretty open game. 15 minutes in. It'd be good to see the likes of Campana and Jorginho and so forth being able to give their chance, have their chance, to which, knowing the way in which, obviously Pedro Neto and so forth has just settled in, as mentioned, within I think after the West Ham game. I certainly think get those 3 more integrated. I know as well, say Luke Matheson has made his move down to here, so perhaps give him a chance at left wing back if needs be, if Johnny needs a rest. Obviously we got Vinagre on the bench too, so there is options. So just needs to make use of them. I'm sure he will at some point. But there we are.
So on to the real pressing matter, though. Black sleeves on the home kit or not?
Nope.
The answer is no. It's always no. I know it's the
Mingin.
The year last year.
That leaked one with the black. That was it. The leaked one with the black sleeves. Mingin.
Yeah. Yep. So hopefully,
I'll speak right into the camera here and say to Wolves, don't do black sleeves. Just don't do it.
If we could get the socks back while we're at it.
Yeah, we haven't had black sleeves since we haven't had black sleeves since 2014-15, which was the season we missed out on the blast by 4 goals. I think that could be a bit of a bad omen. It's isn't too bad of a league shirt, but black sleeves don't it doesn't suit Wolves.
It'll
Doesn't
the
seem
one
well.
the kit that leaked though looks comical with the not just because of the black sleeves, but like the 2 inches of well, let's call it orange. Sorry, but it looks orange. That's on the end of it. So if it was solid
Yeah.
black sleeves, I'll deal with it, but not with those. Not the way it looked.
Like
But there was the one
the other
that
leak.
leaked in America that looked a little better.
There was the other leak, which is the same, I think, the same pattern shirt, but with the gold sleeves.
Yeah.
And that was half decent.
That was
that was a reasonably good shirt.
That was a gift from the USA. So
I think so, yes.
We've done a few good things for world football. We Sepp Blatter, we were the ones that stepped in and
told him where to go, essentially.
Oh, I suppose I've lost you, Alex. Ooh, Alex, you've gone quiet.
I think you just lost me that whole time, didn't you?
Oh, there we are. Yes, we did. Yeah, you've just solved world peace, all wars and hunger. There's no more. But we've lost it to the ages now.
Yeah, that's all right.
Never mind.
It happens. But no black sleeves, so we're all on the same. Yeah. I'll take the pinstripes back before I do black sleeves.
The pinstripes in 16-17. Well, we won at Anfield with them, so no one should complain.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the pinstripes too much. I mean,
no,
to be honest, this has got pinstripes.
Those are pinstripes, and it's a very good looking. That's a very decent looking away shirt.
Yeah.
And it's had more luck than what the white one did last season.
Yeah.
I still can't.
It's the promotion shirts, the proper old gold, Pantone old gold. I'll have not that strange muddy brown colour that people wind me up with. If you wish to see the Pantone code, I can post it again. I always do. But no, that shirt was spot on. Variations of that, we can work with that. That's great. This one I like. I think that's
just want last year's shirt back.
Away shirt should be either black or white, in my opinion. Not purple, not blue, not whatever other colour. I have to be honest. I'm sorry, all you Mexican fans. I don't like the green shirt.
I forget what team I'm watching with the green shirt, or the blue was easier somehow for me to get around, or the neon green. I don't know. So kit talk, good stuff.
Yeah.
What would you want as an away shirt though next season? Because now we've gone obviously black and white for the last few.
First of all, I want 2 different away shirts right off the bat.
How much are they?
If you, why wouldn't you do an all black kit, all white kit, and then our regular kit? And I think,
works for me. Yeah.
I mean, I bet you they'll have neon for the sake of neon, just because. So take your shade.
I'm surprised that the away shirt wasn't leaked with the home shirt, but maybe there's going to be a surprise sprung. But say that blue shirt though from the 90s. Maybe bring that back, perhaps with a modern day twist. That was obviously, I think, that was lovely. That shirt's down in Icon, I think. So and I fully agree in terms of gold socks, please. As much as the black socks look as meant to look as a bit more meaner, they just haven't suited. So. But yes, what we're thinking of.
What about hoop socks?
Ooh.
I like them on an away kit.
Not the home. I wouldn't want to mess with the traditional old gold shirt, black shorts, and old gold socks, as it should have been. and as it wasn't for the first time since 2008.
Hmm.
But yeah.
At least we don't have Puma still that's just trying to destroy Man City.
Mm.
Like
Their Paisley shirt was interesting. But the Paisley was a little bit too big.
It'd be great if you're on holiday, like, at a beach somewhere.
Their away kit looks like their away kit even looks like a beach towel or color like a color combination of an ice cream or something, or one of those ice lollies.
Fruit salad.
Yes, the orange and green, of which bizarre to put together, but it blends in okay. At least you know, at least you've seen it. At least you know who's playing in it. But hey ho. Although I know, in fact, Sheffield United actually talking ahead of Wednesday. Theirs have been linked, and their away shirt, it looks like it's going to be salmon. There's pink, salmon pink. So that would be interesting.
A nice bold fuchsia pink is all right, but salmon is just a bit.
If they have the pink as like Racing Point do have on their Formula One car, then okay, that's not bad. But and that's obviously seemingly a pretty good car, having watched the first members of the F1. But the pink on that salmon I don't think will go down too well, knowing many Blades fans as I do. So what are we thinking about? What are we thinking on Wednesday then? What are we thinking?
Win.
We're doing predictions, or we're talking about Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
Let's do on Wednesday. I think it's a bounce back 3-1 for Wolves.
I'm going to go with 5-0 Wolves.
That would be that would be the dream. That would be a proper way of bouncing back and be like, stay into the league that we're still here. I'll be a bit more conservative. 2-0, 2-1. Blades haven't been easy to break down. They've conceded the second least number of goals this season. The problem, obviously, for them though has been scoring a sufficient quantity to really drive them further up the table. And obviously, up until Spurs, they didn't. They were just like us, almost fallen off the cliff. I thought their steam had ran out. But I think Nuno will hopefully get him into maybe a double session or two ahead of it and be like, we can't mess this one up. It's extremely vital that we, as we have done away pretty much all season, come out the blocks. Don't be afraid, as we a bit seem to be in terms of wanting to give it a go and trying to find the right space and so forth. We seem to be better away from home, clearly, this term, and I hope that will end up being the case again, seeing that it's a must win, in all honesty, and it would be, if we don't get the 3 points, and I think certainly the aspiration that is still there of Champions League direct without having to worry the Europa League will I think begin to slip through our fingers. It would be a big shame, as the opportunity is there to do something rather special, and we wouldn't want to. I just hope we don't blow it.
Yeah. And Nuno, we trust.
Indeed. That was his 150th. That was his 150th as well as Gaffer. One to forget, clearly, and hopefully one he'll put behind him and be like, not the best evening at all. And
perhaps that's the idea. Every hallmark, like milestone that he gets to, he'll just do something randomly strange with the whole game, just to see what happens, and then goes back to the formula for the rest of it. The next one will be probably on the 200th game. We might see something completely different and bizarre, and then back to the formula.
Yep, just for funsies. What pose do you think his statue's going to have? Personally, I hope he's holding a cell phone like he was at Bristol City away and just screaming. So that's my favorite. When he was in the director's box. It's probably going to be one of these.
Yeah, one of those.
Or maybe one of his fist pump celebrations that he obviously liked to do. Obviously,
That
in
would
front,
be-
of the, in front of the South Bank, which is always a cool moment when he comes over and then does the jump. And
That would be
Yeah.
triumphant. I'm with you on that one.
yeah, obviously, if we win something big, clearly he would, I think, automatically warrant one, knowing the way in which we've come forward. So
Well,
let's hope.
When we win the Europa League at the end of the season, that'll be his first statue.
Where would it go
Obviously,
though? Where would it go? And would we have to rename the Steve Bull stand, considering that all the other free stands have got in front of them, obviously, and named after them? Would we want to upset Bully?
no, can't do that either.
Would we want to upset the fan base?
I think it's a
interesting.
statue first.
Yeah. Mm.
And then you look at stand naming
They'll just-
after it's all finished.
They'll just put it at midfield.
As Chelsea have just scored.
Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. They've been looking threatening the whole match, so I've been glancing at them.
Giroud has put it in. I think he found a gap. 28th minute.
No shock, but let's keep
Let's
on
hope
hoping.
Watford could spring a surprise. Poor defending and the clinical Olivier doing that. Nice finish.
Okay. Right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up there then, because we've got no one else coming on. So, if you in the future want to come and join us because you think, my God, they keep talking utter rubbish. I know so much more, and I'm so much better than them. I mean, you're not going to be obviously better than them, Stephen, but better than me, but not everyone else. But if that's the case, we will be here again after the Sheffield United game on Wednesday, is it? And we'll see you then. So, thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Adios.
Ta-ra a bit.
Travis.